Namaste, children. As a continuation of our English class, we are into the second part of the lesson, two stories about flying. Flying. Hope this would be a dream of all to fly in an aeroplane. Am I right, children? Don't you think it is quite adventurous? Obviously, it is risky too. Here in our story, a pilot who lost in stormy clouds. What happens thereafter? Your mind would be pestering with lot of questions like, does he arrive safe? If so, who helps him? If not, what happened to the pilot? Keeping these questions in mind, let us read the lesson to find the answers for those questions. We are into the second part of the lesson, two stories about flying, the lesson titled The Black Aeroplane. Before we get into the lesson, we will go about the author. The Black Aeroplane is written by Frederick Forsyth. Frederick Forsyth was born on 25th August 1938 in England. He was educated at Tonbridge School and later joined the university in Spain. He joined the RAF and became a jet fighter pilot. He became a journalist and joined the BBC in 1965, where he served as an assistant diplomatic correspondent. And this lesson is a unique and mysterious experience of Frederick Forsyth. Getting into the lesson, The Black Aeroplane. It was night time when the sky was clear and the stars could be seen twinkling. The pilot felt peace in being above a country that had fallen asleep while he was flying over France to England. It was 1:30 in the morning, and he was fantasizing about holidaying with his family. When the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris control personnel about its presence and for instructions. At that time, lights from the Paris city were blaring at him. He informed the control agency, to which they replied with further instruction on directions. The control room at Paris instructed the pilot to turn 12 degrees towards the west. After receiving the instructions, the pilot geared up and followed them while putting the last fuel tank into operation. All this time, he was dreaming about his time with his family, and then he started thinking about having a satisfactory breakfast at the destination point. He was calm as everything was going as planned. Now the plane had crossed Paris. When he started seeing the clouds in the sky, he could very well feel it. The presence of clouds made it unsafe to travel by air because there were chances of a storm. They were so huge and dark that the pilot compared the storm with black mountains. He knew he could not pass them, as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that was left in the last tank. The right decision would have been to fly back to Paris safely, but the pilot's decision making was clouded by his wish to meet his family. He so desperately wanted to be with his family and have that English breakfast he had been dreaming all day that he took the risk of not going back. Therefore, he headed the plane right into the storm. It was so dark because of the storm that nothing was visible outside the plane. He started losing the control of the plane. The compass and the other instruments had also stopped working because of the bad weather. He became helpless. He tried calling the Paris control agency, who had helped him earlier but could not connect because of the weather. In the midst of nowhere, when everything failed, he saw a ray of hope when he saw another aeroplane there. He felt relieved when he saw another aeroplane and the pilot's face and willingness to help him to escape the storm. He thought to himself that the other pilot is very kind, as he knew that they were lost and was trying to help him. The other pilot took his plane ahead of the lost aeroplane to make it easier for them to follow, while the author followed him like an obedient child. He was also panicking because there was very less amount of fuel left in the tank. It was only then he started coming out of the storm and could see the runway to land his plane safely. When he turned to thank the other pilot, he realized that the plane that had helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. The author really did not know where he had landed, but was not afraid of leaving his plane unattended. He headed straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot. To his utmost surprise, the lady in the control room informed the pilot that there was no other plane in the sky except his own. The only plane that was flying across that night, that's nothing but Dakota DS-088, which is the author's plane. The author is left astonished with a lot of questions unanswered in his mind. With that, the story ends. Now, tell me, children, who saved the narrator when he had lost all the contacts on the radio with Paris control? Who was the pilot of the black aeroplane then? Who helped the narrator to land safely without a compass, without a radio, and without much fuel? These questions remain unsolved puzzles. Even the lady in the control room could not detect any other plane on the stormy night other than the old Dakota on the radar. The mysterious pilot of the black aeroplane was like the God's help sent to the narrator to land safely. The narrator was in real trouble before the mysterious black aeroplane appeared before him. He was almost lost among the mountains of black clouds in front of him. To make things worse, his compass became dead. The other instruments became dead too. He could not contact the Paris control as the radio was dead and nothing worked out. Truly, God knows what would have been his condition if the pilot of the black aeroplane had not guided him out of the stormy clouds to be safe. What is the message we derive out of this lesson? Never say die till the end. Never lose our hope in the most hopeless situation also. No one knows, children, who may come to save us. Children, till then, let us keep up the hope and our spirit. With that note, let us be self-reliant, leaving the rest to God's feet. I hope you have understood the lesson, children. Thank you.